Good afternoon. My name is Şenol Efendi. I actually represent Swedish company Apsys today. We are a company helping approximately 7,000 customers globally in more than 50 countries with their digital communication, specifically said with their email marketing. We have local presences in several countries, the Nordics, Hong Kong, Turkey, and we try to be as local as possible. We have also Czech-speaking colleague in our team. And we try to gain more market experience for different locations. This is actually my second conference in Prague. I'm really happy and glad about being here, although I would like to have bigger audience, of course. Today's topic will be something really trendy. I hope you are really interested in this area. We will talk about email in mobile devices. The technology actually which is here since several years and the challenges which it brings for marketeers, especially for email marketeers. Let's start with some basics. Am I clicking the right button? Help me. Let's try now. Maybe I can just click here, it's not a problem. Another challenge. Okay, I can go for that, no problem. So let's start. I will go to the basics again. There is something always I try to emphasize. It's more or less the importance of email marketing, how popular email marketing is. When we actually ask consumers and people how they would like to be communicated by companies, email marketing is by far the first choice. You can see in the graphic, approximately 77% actually are saying that they would like to be communicated by newsletters and emails. Of course, there are many reasons behind that. We're not going to go into those details. Another very important thing about email marketing is the ROI, the return on investment. Email marketing still has one of the highest, actually the highest ROI. $1 invested can bring you $40 in return, of course, when done properly. Having said those two things, actually, one, the popularity, and the other one, the return on investment, these are actually the things which are very challenged by the new technology, by the mobile. We remember the days when we had those bigger devices where we just could SMS and phone. These days have changed. Now we have slim, nice smartphones. They allow us doing much more. We have internet in them, and actually email is now always with us. Of course, this new technology brings some challenges to the marketeers, and this is what I will try now to focus on and explain you also how we can overcome those challenges. We've done, as Apsys, a survey, a research. We tried to find out what's really going on out there, how do people react, what do they do in their mobile devices when it comes to email, and I will try to present you several results. First of all, this is Scandinavia, but I think we can very much compare to Czech Republic as well. The figures should be quite close. First question, do you have email on your smartphone? Do you have an application or a client? And 71% actually answered that they have email client on their smartphone. I think it's a quite high number, and the trend is growing. Probably soon we all will have an email application, and we will use this application on our smartphone. Another very important thing is to understand where the people actually open the emails. You see a growing trend here. We see that smartphones, approximately 28% of the people already are opening their emails on smartphones, and the trend is growing. I believe within a short time this will be the prior device where we will open our emails. Of course, there is one other important thing here. When people use their mobile phones to read emails, they don't actually use them in order to analyze or take action. It's most of the cases, it's more to keep track of the inbox, to control and see if there is something important or not. And this is one crucial thing to consider when it comes to to the click rate. You see that when people actually read emails on desktop, the click to open rate is much higher. We are sitting on a device, on a computer, we have the time, the environment actually is very suitable for analyzing and taking action. Of course, the figures change very much for smartphone. We tend to click less. There are lots of reasons behind, but in many cases, it could be actually because we would like to keep the message and read it later on a different device, as, for example, desktop. And that's one of the things marketeers need to consider and take in consideration, that they need to work in order to improve the click rate actually itself. I can see myself very much. This is actually a graphic which shows when we open emails on mobile devices. Maybe you as well can see your behavior. I do it very much when I wake up, also before I go to bed, at vacation quite often. So people actually started viewing emails much more often. The idea that we have these devices and internet is with us, email with us, has done that we can check everywhere and every time. We had a dinner actually the day before with a colleague, and she said that her husband was checking his emails during the birth of their child. If I would do that, most probably I wouldn't be here. I would be terminated. So you see how things change. We tend to do things in a different manner actually with the mobile devices. Another very important thing is to analyze where do we open our emails according to different days. And we can see a clear trend that we mostly open emails on desktop during the week. Of course, when we are at work, we are in front of a computer, and then we tend to use a desktop. But then during the weekends, we tend to do it more on mobile devices or on webmail. And this is something maybe the marketeers need to start considering when they decide about their sending time and date. If you have actually the analyze about how big your subscribers are which open in mobile devices, maybe you should actually start sending more often during weekends rather than during the week. Actually, we need to go a bit earlier before we start talking about the content, and we need to analyze the steps that actually people take when they open and read emails on mobile devices. Of course, the first one is the inbox. Now with the mobile devices, we need to consider that many email clients actually shorten the subject line. We need to be much more careful about our sender name maybe. And at the same time, we need also to be very careful what we actually type in the first sentence of the content, or even the so-called pre-header. So those are very important things to consider, especially when it comes to mobile. Another thing, of course, is the content. Actually, when we have a look here, we see a very nice desktop version of a newsletter. And of course, a newsletter that looks nice on a desktop might not look that good in a mobile device. Ignoring that fact actually can change a lot, and it can actually harm a lot, because the subscriber experience might not be optimal, and it might worsen your result. As you can see here on the right side, we have an example how a newsletter would look like if you would ignore the fact that it looks in a different way. It's not really easy to read, not clear. People most probably will not click anywhere. And bearing in mind this, we can actually change some things. The first way maybe, and the easiest, is to have a common design for both mobile and desktop version, but having it more oriented towards the mobile friendly. Here we can see actually a simple design where there is only one column, which in a way will actually limit your design for the desktop version. But it's an easy and cost-effective way. The other option is using responsive design. This is a technology based on a more advanced CSS code. The newsletter will be viewed in a different way, in a different format, according to the device where it's open. As you can see, the experience will be very different. It will be optimized. By that, actually, you will increase the ROI most probably. Of course, this technology demands quite a high technical knowledge and investment. And the last technology is the mobile headline. This is quite a simple technology. Here you can see a desktop version, and this is an image that replaces this version. Quite simple with a clear call to action button. This is quite effective because there is no big knowledge need in order to implement it, and it's actually targeting straightly your audience. Let's move out from numbers and theory. I will actually try to give you some examples about the impact of those changes. This is a case study we have with our customer in Hong Kong, UNICEF. They had a campaign for a fundraising campaign, and they thought that it doesn't really go well. They don't do good enough. What we actually did, of course, initially we analyzed their current situation, and we find out that approximately 40% of their subscribers open the newsletter on mobile devices. What actually has happened is we had a look at their desktop version, and we realized that the call to action button was not clear. As well, there was a lot of content. What we did is we put a lot of emphasis on the thing that we want people to do. So we shortened the content, and we put a much bigger call to action button. When it comes to the mobile version, they didn't have a mobile version. On the left side, on the left side, you can see that they wouldn't see the whole content. They saw just a part. They need to zoom out or scroll in order to see the newsletter. What we did in that specific case, we used the mobile headline technology. A clear call to action button, a simple message, straight to the point. And of course, the result is very important. By using this revised layout and by using the mobile version, we have actually increased the active subscribers by 34%. And of course, that increased the donations itself. I think for such a small change, such a simple thing, actually, in a way, it's a quite good result. And we can see actually a good example of how things can be done properly. And some final suggestions to the ones that consider improving in this area. We need to consider certain things when we have designing email for a mobile device. First of all, the first impression is the most important one. Keep in mind the subject line, the sender name, the description, but of course also the content itself. There is a golden rule, more or less. I can say it's easy to read or easy to delete. So consider this fact when you send out newsletters, specifically people open on mobile devices. Less is more. This is one very important thing. Make it easy for the subscriber to perceive your message quickly and with a short text. On the other hand, make it easy to navigate or to operate. Consider the size of the finger. Use bigger buttons and links. Make text clear, or as well bigger. Use bigger text. And the last thing is reduce the background and highlight the images, actually. I think those 5 things need to be really considered before doing any single sending. And the last one is you need to be really clear what you want those people to read, and also what you want them to do finally with your email and your communication. This is all. Thank you very much. If you would have any questions, we are outside. We have a booth. We could talk about this technology and the developments. Thanks a lot.